morning, girls. Welcome to your chemistry class. Today we shall begin a new chapter, chemical reactions. I hope you have finished your assignment of the previous chapter. Right. So today let us begin with this new chapter. Now, what is a chemical reaction? The first thing that we need to understand in this chapter is what is a chemical reaction? What is a chemical reaction? Okay, many of you must be knowing we generally write down the reactions, but you actually do not know how to define that chemical reaction. So today I'm going to make you first understand what is a chemical reaction. So write down, it is a chemical reaction is a chemical change. Okay, it is a chemical change in which matter changes into a new substance. Okay, what did I say? What is a chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is a chemical change in which matter changes into a new substance. In a chemical reaction, the substance that takes part in the reaction is called as a reactant, and the new substance that is formed, that is called as a product. Let me give you an example over here, like N2 plus O2. It gives us 2NO. Clear? So what is this? They are the reactants. They are called as the reactants. The arrow shows in which direction the reaction proceeds, and this is the product. Okay? So this is a chemical reaction. It is a chemical change in which matter changes into a new substance. I hope this is very clear. Now, what is the procedure of this chemical reaction? How do these chemical reactions takes place? So this is what I am going to explain you next. So during a chemical reaction, you know what happens? The bonds of the reactants, they break. Now, how do the bonds break? So how is this nitrogen molecule forming a bond? Nitrogen combines with another atom of nitrogen with 3 bonds. Okay, this is combining with oxygen, which is bonded with another type of oxygen with double bond. So over here the bond breaks. And again what happens? Results into a new kind of bonds that are formed. What are the new kind of bonds that will be formed between N and O? These kind of 2 new bonds will be formed. 2 new bonds will be formed. What happened in the reactant? When these reactants were brought, due to heat, the bonds they broke and rearrangement of these bond took place, and new arrangement of bond was formed, forming the new products. Is this clear to all? Okay, you must have heard number of times I am using this word bond. What do we mean by this word bond? Right? These bonds, they are the linkages. Okay? They are the linkages or the forces, or we can also say that they are the forces between the 2 atoms, okay, to hold them together, to form a molecule. Okay, so due to this bond, see earlier before the reaction proceeded, there was a bond between this nitrogen atom and this nitrogen atom. So these are the linkages, or there is some force of attraction between these 2 atoms which has held them together. There is some force of attraction between these 2. But when these two molecules, they are brought together and they are heated, so what happens? The bond, they break. And when the bonds, they break, rearrangement of the bond takes place in a new form, and those new form are called as your products. I hope this chemical reaction is very clear to all of you. Today in this chapter, we are going to study about the different types of chemical reactions. So first let us know how many types of chemical reactions are there. There are basically 4 types of chemical reactions. The first type is called as direct combination reaction. Direct combination reaction. This is also termed as synthesis reaction. Okay. Then the second type of reaction is called as decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction. The third type of reaction is simple displacement reaction. Simple displacement reaction. And the fourth kind is double decomposition reaction. Double decomposition reaction. Okay. So in this video, I'll try to cover up the first 3. Okay. The first 3, that is the direct combination or synthesis, decomposition, simple displacement reactions. These are the 3 which I will try to cover today. So let us begin with the first kind of reaction, that is direct combination. This direct combination, as I told you just now, it is also called as synthesis reaction, also termed as synthesis reaction. You are requested to make your notes properly. So in direct combination or synthesis reaction, 2 or more reactants, they combine and they form a single product. They give you just one product. Such kind of reactions, they come under direct combination or synthesis reaction. Let us take certain examples. The well-known examples that you already know, that is hydrogen when combines with oxygen in what circumstances? In the presence of electric current. Correct. In the presence of electric current, it gives water. So look here, 2 reactants, they combine to form one product. Another example could be like nitrogen when combines with hydrogen. There are certain special conditions required over here also. That is, the catalyst used is your iron in the presence of molybdenum, which is a promoter, at 250 degrees Celsius and 450 atmosphere. What does it form? It forms ammonia. So here you will see that by 2 reactants you obtain only one product, right? Let us take some more reactions like sulfur combines with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide, right? Carbon will combine with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, right? Carbon in limited supply of oxygen. In limited supply of oxygen, limited supply, what is it going to form? It will form carbon monoxide. Okay. Phosphorus can combine with oxygen to form phosphorus pentaoxide. Phosphorus can also combine with chlorine to phosphorus pentachloride, or phosphorus trichloride can also be formed, right? These are some of the reactions where you find that the reactant, 2 reactants, they are combining to give you one product. Let's go ahead with some examples with the metals. Like sodium combines with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Okay. Then magnesium also burns in the presence of air to form magnesium oxide. Fine. Then now over here, calcium can combine with nitrogen to form calcium nitride. Okay. Aluminium can combine with nitrogen to form aluminium nitride. So what did I show you? Metal is combining with a non-metal. Now let us see certain examples where 2 compounds combine to give us one product, and also shows direct combination or synthesis reaction. For example, Sulfur dioxide will combine with water to form sulfurous acid, right? Carbon dioxide will combine with water to form carbonic acid, right? Similarly, P2O5 can combine with water to give you H3PO4. So here the reactants which are in the form of a compound are also combining to give us one product. Some with the basic oxides, like for example Na2O, when it is treated with water, it is going to form NaOH, right? Some more example like CaO, when we add it to water, it forms CaOH whole twice. So these many reactions what I've written over here, I just tried to explain you that the two reactants, they combine to give us one product, whether a non-metal with a non-metal, a metal with a non-metal, or a compound with another compound. So whenever you get one product, it is always your direct combination. And remember, the mass of this product will always be more than mass of one reactant. When these two reactants, they are combined together, they will be equal to the mass of the product. The mass of A plus B will be equal to AB, but mass of A will be less than AB, or mass of B will be less than AB, right? We next move to second kind, that is decomposition reaction. Now let us talk about second type of reaction, that is decomposition reaction. Now in decomposition reaction, it is just the opposite of your first one, that is your direct combination. What? That one reactant, it divides to give us two or more products. Then it is called as decomposition reaction. So what is the difference between direct and decomposition? In direct, only one product was formed, and in decomposition, one reactant decomposes to give us two or more products, right? For example, let us start with your water. Water in the presence of electric current gives us what? Hydrogen plus oxygen. Okay, let's take some more examples, like your calcium carbonate decomposes to give you calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide, or say CuCO3 on heating gives you CuO plus CO2. Now check here, I might ask you a question. What do you observe? What do you observe when calcium carbonate is decomposed? Okay, so you will write that calcium carbonate on decomposition gives brisk effervescence, because carbon dioxide always gives brisk effervescence. This is your observation, right? But if I ask you, what are the products formed when copper carbonate is heated or calcium carbonate is heated, then in that case you have to write CaO plus CO2. That is the complete reaction. But when I talk about observation, then you have to explain something that you have observed through your eyes, or through smell, or through color, something like that. Okay, so for example over here, what do you observe when copper carbonate is heated? So copper carbonate, which is blue in color, when heated gives black color copper oxide, and brisk effervescence of carbon dioxide is given out. This is the way how we write down the observations. Clear? Some more examples I will give you. Let's talk about KNO3. What is the name of this? Potassium nitrate. This on heating gives us KNO2 plus O2. This is the oxygen gas that is given out, right? Let us come down in the series of nitrate. Let's talk about NaNO3. This also on heating gives us NaNO2 plus O2. This is also your gas. But if we talk about calcium nitrate, okay, calcium nitrate on decomposition gives what? Calcium nitrate gives CaO plus NO2, which is a gas, plus O2 gas. This color, nitrogen dioxide, is a reddish brown gas. Reddish brown gas. Okay, always remember the color. This is how we identify these gases. Okay, this is colorless but gives brisk effervescence, also turns lime water milky. Oxygen is colorless and rekindles a glowing splinter, and NO2, nitrogen dioxide, it is a reddish brown gas. Okay, let's come to some more examples with it. Calcium, after this, if I write magnesium nitrate, okay, magnesium nitrate on heating will give you magnesium oxide plus NO2 plus O2 gas. This is also a gas, and this can continue till copper nitrate. Till copper nitrate, what are you going to observe? The oxide is formed, nitrogen dioxide gas, which is reddish brown in color, and oxygen gas is given out. Now check what I have told you. The first two nitrates, they give out oxygen only, but from one calcium to another copper, that is one C to another C, from one C to another C in your activity series. Okay, what do we observe? Always the oxides, their respective oxides are formed, nitrogen dioxide gas is given out, and oxygen gas is released. Now talking about more nitrates which are found below copper in the activity series, like for example AgNO3. Okay, AgNO3 on decomposition, it will not give you any more oxide, but it will give you the metal silver plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen gas will be given out. Okay, some more example, like same way, if you take AgCl, then also on heating, this is going to give you Ag plus Cl2. So those elements which are placed below copper in the activity series, they always on heating, they will give us the respective metals and the gases. Now let's talk about how to identify chlorine gas. This chlorine gas is greenish yellow in color. Greenish yellow color gas. Okay, so we always talk about greenish yellow color gas. Which one is it? It will be always chlorine. Is this clear? So what did we observe over here in these reactions? That the reactant is one which on heating is giving out two or more compounds. Let's talk about one more where I'll show you more compounds are given out. NH4 whole twice Cr2O7. When this is heated, when this is decomposed, it gives chromic oxide Cr2O3 plus N2 plus H2O. So you can see here three compounds are given out. So when one reactant decomposes, it may give us two or more than two products. Such kind of reactions, they are termed as decomposition reactions. Now let us talk about simple displacement reaction. We talk about the third kind, that is the displacement, simple displacement reaction. Simple displacement reactions. For simple displacement reactions, you have to understand or you have to remember your activity series. That is a must. So I'm writing down your activity series based on which I will tell you the example. So if you remember, you can recollect potassium, sodium, calcium, after calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc. Do you remember all this? Then after zinc, iron, then lead, then hydrogen. Okay, do you remember? Then copper, mercury, silver, gold. So in simple displacement reaction, the higher elements can replace the lower elements, but lower elements cannot replace the higher elements. This is what you have to remember in simple displacement reactions. What did I say? I repeat. Higher elements can replace the lower elements, but lower elements cannot replace the higher elements. Let us take this example. Like I use zinc plus copper sulfate. What do we see here? Okay, just let me give you the general reaction of it. A plus BC. What is it going to give you? AC plus B. Okay, A plus BC is going to give you AC plus B. Now let us understand zinc. Look here, zinc. Can it replace copper? Yes, it can replace copper because it is placed above copper. So what reaction are we going to get over here? Zinc sulfate plus copper. Red deposit will be found over here. This is the red deposit formed. But if I say copper plus zinc sulfate, will this reaction take place? Let's look. Copper has to replace zinc. Copper has to replace zinc. Is it possible? What did I say? Higher ones will replace the lower ones. Lower ones are not going to replace the higher ones. So, no reaction takes place over here. Similarly, let's take another example. Magnesium plus copper sulfate. Okay. Let's see. Magnesium, can it replace copper? Yes. So, it can form, magnesium sulfate plus copper. Right? But is it possible that copper plus magnesium sulfate reaction takes place? No reaction. Why? Because copper cannot replace magnesium. Is this point very clear to all of you? Okay. Then another example like calcium plus water. Okay. Calcium, can it replace hydrogen from water? Yes. So it will form CaOH whole twice. The reaction is possible. But do you think copper plus H2O, any reaction? Can copper replace hydrogen? No. So no reaction will take place. I hope according to this series, this simple displacement is clear to you. Now, let us also observe with the halogen series. In halogen series, what do we know? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay. Fluorine can replace chlorine, bromine, iodine. Chlorine can replace bromine, iodine, but not fluorine. Bromine can replace only iodine, but iodine cannot replace any of these. So once again, higher elements can replace the lower ones, but lower ones cannot replace the higher ones. Let's take some example. Like for example, chlorine plus KBr. Okay, chlorine reacting with KBr. Now chlorine, can it replace bromine? Chlorine, can it replace bromine? Yes, it can replace because bromine is down. So what will be the reaction? The reaction will be KCl plus bromine gas will be given out. Okay. Now bromine color is also reddish brown in color. Reddish brown color gas it is. Okay. Is this clear? Now I just reverse the reaction. KCl plus Br2. Is it possible? Is this reaction possible? Bromine has to replace chlorine. Bromine has to replace chlorine. Possible? No. So this reaction does not take place. Right? Last reaction like KCl plus I2. Is this reaction possible? Who has to replace? Iodine has to replace chlorine. Iodine has to replace chlorine. Possible? Not possible. But if I write potassium iodide plus Cl2. Now chlorine has to replace iodine. Chlorine which is higher can replace iodine. Yes, it can. And hence it can form KCl plus I2. So with this we have finished direct combination, decomposition and simple displacement reactions. Next time I shall come back to you with double decomposition reaction. Thank you.